How's it going, everybody? I know it's been a little bit, I think a month, in fact. But today's video, we're going to talk about the state of Warcraft Rumble, my opinions on it, and why I have taken a step back from it. I haven't made a Warcraft Rumble video in about a month, and I'm going to tell you why. But that does not mean we are done making content. We still might make the occasional Warcraft Rumble video, maybe once a month or so, but we will be transitioning to something else. And I hope everyone's excited for it. I'll talk about it later in the video. So there will be timestamps. So if you don't care about Warcraft Rumble or my opinions on it, and you just want to skip to see what's happening next with the channel, go there. If not, let's listen for a little bit. Okay, so Warcraft Rumble. Why did I stop playing it? Well, I haven't really stopped playing it, but I've just kind of logged on once a day, check to see if the daily rewards are good, and then log out, basically. Mainly because I think the game's in a bad spot, both in PvE and PvP. So I guess we'll just start off with PvP. Let's face it, PvP's always been bad. Level 10 minis it's just something that's always going to happen in a mobile game. Is you have a max level mini, you have to spend money to get there, which is great. It's how the game makes money, I guess, but it's not really balanced, which, you know, phone games never are. But they added level 11 minis, which is really bad in my opinion. So, I know there has to be natural progression in a game. An extra level in PvP was probably inevitable, but to do it like 6 months into a game's life cycle is kind of crazy to me. And on one hand, Valor was good to help boost lower level players to get higher or closer to that level 10 mark in PvP, but when you add a level 11, it really just kind of negates it, right? It just feels bad. Now you have to max out a unit and get it legendary to have a level 11, or you can use the boost slot. It's gross, honestly, especially with all the new minis they're releasing. Just the amount of money you have to spend to be able to play at a competitive level is awful. And like, the PvP gameplay is fun, but the modifiers aren't. The enchantments aren't. The towers are like fine, I guess, but in Warcraft Rumble, I believe that they were trying to use modifiers and enchantments to balance the game for them, to change the meta and make sure the game was fresh. I think modifiers and enchants are really doing the opposite job, with the exception of like 2 or 3 of them. I think it's just not working out how they want it to, and not making PvP very fun. Just my opinion. I think they should just scrap modifiers and enchantments and just work on balancing the game themselves. But, you know, I'm not a dev. So, I also think that, you know, there are a lot of minis that aren't good in PvP. I'm not saying that every mini has to be good in PvP, but the point of enchantments and modifiers were to change what was, I guess, meta during a specific modifier, and it does that on occasion, but generally they just keep the good units good and the bad units bad or worse. So I think PvP is in a really bad spot. It doesn't seem like they care about it at all, really, especially for a newer player. And like, I guess this is all really talking about the broad community as a whole and not just like the top couple percentage points, right? Because like, I could just spend some money and have level 11 minis, but I really want the game to be fun for the larger audience. And I don't know that necessarily my audience is the low majority. It's probably a lot of the higher end people, but put yourself in the shoes of someone who just hit like level 8s and 9s, and then they queue up into somebody with level 11 in base. That feels really discouraging, and I just wish the game was balanced. That's all it comes down to. Now, PvE, it's fun, but is it? I mean, playing through the campaign and the heroic campaign was great. Sieges and raids are fine. Sieges are fun as an entry to like high-end, like hard PvE content. And raids are kind of that to. I would go out and say that Onyxia is much harder than the raids could have ever thought about being. Most of the raids you don't even have to know the mechanics. There are like 3 bosses that I probably actually know the mechanics of, and the other ones just don't matter. Like Golemag, for example, you don't have to know his mechanics. You just have to know how to play execute on him. It's not really fun, but it's kind of fun. So they did a decent job with that. But I think PvE is lacking a really hard, repeatable, maybe like increasing difficulty infinitely with higher rewards as you go sort of game mode. And once you complete PvE, there's not really anything else you can do. Also, they had like a golden goose, in my opinion, with Darkmoon Faire, and they just constantly botch it. It's so weird. Like, the first one was so good. They had Darkmoon Faire chests and a good rewards tree, and the next time they come around, they don't have Darkmoon Faire chests anymore, and they have these weird modifiers that they say they're just testing out. The whole community hates it. And then they bring it back, but then the tree of rewards is worse. And then the next week, they advertise on their Twitter that Darkmoon chests are coming back with Darkmoon Faire, and they don't actually bring them back. It's super weird. It tells me that there's not a lot of communication actually going on at Blizzard about the game, which is kind of unfortunate. But I mean, I think you could be in the community Discord for any amount of time and figure that out yourself. And then like they also just have people that don't play the game putting in code for their game, or at least text. So on the Darkmoon Faire that introduced like all of the bad rewards with like, I think it was Cairn and Tyrion. Tyrion had this little blurb when you clicked on the stars in the tree telling you things that he did, and one of those things was that he cleaved enemies, which he doesn't actually do. So it's just weird on so many different levels why that's even in the game to begin with. But once again, it just tells me that the people that are making the game don't actually play the game. And you know, I mean, can we have a patch ever that happens without a bug? It's honestly awful. Every single time something comes out, you kind of just like look for what's broken, and hope it's at least fun. But yeah, I think that's just what it comes down to. Not wanting to spend the effort into making videos or money into leveling up minis if the game's not fun for me, if I don't feel like the company themselves are actually putting in effort for it. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of why we stopped making videos. It's just not fun. I mean, no one wants to see another Jaina execute video. So, you know, it is what it is. However, I want to talk about one more thing before I tell you what I'm going to do moving forward. And that is the advertising that Blizzard has been doing. They've been spending a lot of money advertising the game. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but there's all these random YouTubers that are making content for the game, being paid to do it. And I get it, you need to promote the game, but I think the game needs to be good before you promote it. And so let's look at, I think, is the perfect prime example real quick. So here we have Darth microtransactions page. There are all these Rumble videos, which if you click on them, he'll say, thank you for sponsoring this video. And I'm not hating on Darth microtransactions. This guy's awesome. But let's just look at some of the videos. So we have normal videos, 12,000 views. We have 17,000 views. And then we have Warcraft Rumble, 500 views, 600 views, 900 views, while the video beside it is at 42,000 views. 23,000 views. Oh, another Warcraft Rumble one. 700 views. People don't like this game. Like, if this is any type of indication about the quality of the game, it's when people don't want to watch videos about it because they don't find it enjoyable. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of wild to me to spend... I actually don't know what they are spending on this, but I would imagine it's a decent amount of money. You have a very well-known, high subscriber count, high view count on videos influencer that is being paid to play the game, but getting less than half of 1,000 views, 500, 600, 200 views. I mean, that's rough, honestly. Yeah, I think it speaks volumes about the quality of the game, but that's just another thing I just kind of noticed and why I have decided to step back a little bit from it. I'm sure they'll add some updates that are fun or change some things, and I look forward to those things, and I hope the game continues to grow and actually does well, but I don't think it's where I want to be. So, what am I doing next? Well, like I said, I don't think Warcraft Rumble is completely dead for me. We will be making content for it every so often, maybe once a month, maybe more, maybe less. We'll just have to see going forward. However, what I am excited for, and I know that it's different, and that I would expect most of you to leave. I don't know if it's the same audience or not, but I was only making content for Warcraft Rumble before because I enjoyed doing it, and we're kind of past the point of enjoyment on that. So, we are going to be making content for Ashes of Creation. That game that everyone was talking about, that was announced in 2017, I think. I think that's when I kickstarted it. Anyway, I have access to the non-NDA Alpha 2 when it comes out at the end of this quarter. I'm going to be making content for it. I'm excited about it. I've always played and loved MMORPGs. I started with, I think, Silk Road Online. If anyone knows what that is, that's a deep cut. And then, obviously, World of Warcraft forever and ever. And I've played so many other countless MMOs since then that it's just where my heart is. I don't actually know if I have enough time to play an MMO. But we'll do our best, and we will we'll make as much content as we can. We'll try and get back on a regular cycle when it comes out, but we will be getting a date, I believe, on Wednesday. So tomorrow, we should get a date during their developer live stream. If you don't know what Ashes of Creation is, I recommend you check it out. It looks like it will be fun. It looks like it's going to be a really, really good time, and I know a lot of other people are excited for it. So, that is what we are doing. If you're here for the MMOs, awesome. If you were only here for Rumble, sorry, but I totally understand if this is where we part ways. Anyway, I just thought I would give everyone an update about what I am doing and where I'm at, but other than that, we're doing awesome. So, I hope you guys are also doing awesome as well. Take care, guys, and until the Ashes of Creation content starts, hopefully soon, see you guys later. Bye.